Hello everybody, welcome to our 6th tutorial in Intro to Application Development for the Behavioral Sciences. In our last tutorial, we got our emulator up and running, but we really haven't gotten into too much of actual writing of any programming. So today we're going to pick up where we left off by launching our emulator, and we'll do that by going up to the Android Emulator Manager, and we'll pick out the emulator that we put together last time. I think that was my first emulator, and then we'll start it. You don't always have to start it explicitly this way. Visual Studio will start it as needed if it's not already running, but sometimes they can make it challenging to start on the first time if it's already not up and running. So right now we have our emulator up, and before we do anything, we're just going to launch it by pressing either this green arrow or right clicking on our Android project and clicking deploy. Now what this is going to do is it's going to build what we currently have here, which is largely just the template by default, and it's going to put it together. You can see a little progress bar down here at this bottom, and it's going to send it to the emulator. Alright, and we're building. Depending on the speed of your computer, building can be kind of quick or pretty slow. I don't know what's up with that. I'm just going to click it again. Alright. When you see this orange bar down here, it usually means it's debugging. And Visual Studio, usually down here, it'll give you the updates of what the device is reporting in terms of performance or any other type of logging you might have in there. But if we take a look at our emulator, we see that we do have a page shown. In Xamarin Forms, it names its displays as individual pages. So say there's a home page, there may be a second page, there may be a settings page. Each view is usually defined as a page. And in this page, we see that the title up here is Mobile Application Tutorial. And in the middle, there's only this one label that just says Welcome to Xamarin Forms. So I'm going to click Stop, this little red square up here. And we're going to take a look at the actual code. Now, if we just close down these individual Android and iOS projects and just look up to this top project, we'll see that there's really only one program file. References have the packages that the program needs to put everything together. Properties is that's pretty complex, but not super relevant just yet. And packages are really just it's like a part list for all the individual packages that needs to get going. This getting started file is usually just an information display. You can leave it there, you can get rid of it. I'm just going to get rid of it. So the main file of interest is this app.cs. And we noted before, these individual projects like this Droid project, when everything is up and running, it really just tells Android to load this class, this app class. So this is the starting point. So we'll close the Android file and we'll go to our app.cs and we'll see what's in here. We see our namespace is our project name, and the name of the class is app, just like the app that's named in the Android and iOS files. It's an instance of this app Xamarin Forms application class. So this is a class that contains all the methods needed to display and enable the interface. And if we look in the constructor is just this class that defines this app. We have a variable here that is an instance of a content page, and the only thing that's really assigned here is there's a main page for this app class, and it's a navigation page, which is it takes this page as an argument and then it wraps it in some methods that enable you to go backwards and forwards and navigate to and from. So really the only thing here that is super relevant to today's tutorial is there is a variable being made here, and it's a content page. And in this variable, we're defining the title, which is Mobile Application Tutorial. There's some content, and this content is in a layout with some layout parameters and a child. So Xamarin does a pretty good job of making things pretty straightforward for each page, where there's a title, there's some content, there's a way that content is arranged in there, there are some specific rules on how you want that layout to look, either horizontally or vertically. In this case, it's smack in the center, and there's the specific children that you want it to show. If we look at the only child in here, there's this label, we see that this is where we get the Welcome to Xamarin Forms label. So just reading this code, I see that there is a content page named this. The content is in a stack layout, and a stack layout is going to take up the whole space of the screen it showed on. You want to show the children right in the center, vertically. This is the vertical options. And there's only one child, and instead of showing this text at the left, it's going to align that text in the center. So we see center and center. That's why our page showed this message right in the middle, because it was horizontally in the center and vertically in the center. And by putting this together here, we put all this in a navigation page and then told Xamarin that this is the main page. This is how Xamarin put together that single page instance. In here, there are some default methods, depending on what your application might need to do when it starts, or when it sleeps, or when it picks back up. You may have some methods in here. Sometimes these are things that may have to do with services and databases of when your app goes to sleep and then loads back up later. But for our purposes, I'm just gonna collapse these here because we're not gonna do those. So for now, in this tutorial, we just reviewed this file, which is our application file for Xamarin Forms. We didn't really change anything, but we oriented to just what's actually being shown when we start and launch that on the emulator. And we'll just load that back up. Yeah. We'll see that our title here matches the title here. Our content is in a stack layout, which is a layout that takes up this whole screen. Vertically, this child is shown right in the middle, and horizontally, this text is in the center of this screen. So that's all we have for now. In the next tutorial, we're going to make a couple different modifications to this content page and explore some of our options in there. So until then, stay tuned to the website, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one.